both are also members on the Fund for the Arts Board of Directors, which, as what we've learned, is when students come through school and they participate in arts programs, not only do you have a better quality of life and you learn a little bit better and do a little bit better on your test scores, hopefully you'll graduate from school, go on to college, and then go and volunteer in your community, such as my friends do here with us today. All right, my next friend I'd like to introduce you guys to.
Barbara has a lot of friends.
Yes. The arts bring us together, that's right. Now, another really important person in our community is Susan Berry. Susan is the president and CEO of the Community Foundation of Louisville. She's just moved here within the last year or so, and I want Susan to join us up here and tell you about her experience.
Now, what grade do we have here? What grades do we have here today? You're all 7. Well, my daughter is in 8th grade at Highland Middle School, and she plays the tuba. She's about this tall. She said she tried everything. She tried the piano, I don't even know all the clarinet, the flute. Yes. She went through them like this. And finally it was the piano that set her back. She was crying in the backseat of the car. This is not for me. And she came home from school. I thought, well, her musical career is over. She came home from school and said, I'm playing the tuba. And I could not change, and not that I wanted to, but it's a big instrument. And she's a small child, like most of you, so there you go. Let me just start by saying I've never heard a community rise up and say, we have too much arts and culture. Have you ever heard a community say that? Too much, let's turn it off. In fact, a community full of arts is a community full of well-educated and interesting people. My daughter and I went to see Dracula yesterday at Actors Theater. She went for the 2nd time. The first time with her school. Fabulous. She loved it so much. My brother was in town. She said, let's go back. Scary, scary, scary. A couple of times she had to say, do you want my hand? And I did. To hold it. There was a live rat. You need to go just for the rats in a little box, and sure enough, it comes out. And just a couple of weeks ago, you're musicians, so you may appreciate this, but we went to see Carmen at the Kentucky Opera. How many of you have heard opera, seen opera? You, what opera? Tell me about that. Heard it on TV before. Okay. Well, in person, it's just amazing. My daughter always says I go to opera so I can take a nap, but I promise you, she does that. I promise you that I stay awake through the whole thing. In our family, we talk the talk and walk the walk. And at the Community Foundation, we try to do the same. As Paul mentioned, Chase is the lead funder on the 5x5 education initiative. But when Tina Jo and Paul suggested to the Community Foundation that there was a way that we could co-invest with them, I said yes immediately, without even going to my board. I said, I love it, love it, love it. We have an interest in education. This is a great way. You know, there's nothing wrong with science and math and reading, but I think music brings out the best in us, and obviously this is so true today. So we put $125,000 into this project for 5 years. Make mention of a couple of things. We've also funded the Schools Out Arts In program through our George and Mary Alice Hadley Fund. For those of you you're young, there's a pottery company here in Louisville, the Hadley Pottery Company, and the Hadley family has left a legacy to support arts and humanities in our community. So $3,000 for the Schools Out Arts In. But I want to just add one more thing, and I'm glad Mr. Allen, should I call you Mr. Allen?
Sure.
Mr. Allen is here because Gail Sanders, who coordinates our education program, reminded me that we've just funded Mr. Allen and his band program here at Western $4,500 so that you can have 3 paid private instructors for high brass, low brass, and woodwind. I'm not really sure what all high brass is.
Trumpets, French horn, folks in the middle there.
Low brass?
Back row.
Back row. And woodwind?
Front row.
Front row, okay. So you're all taking what about the middle row? Not the middle row. So thank you very much, Mr. Allen, and thank you for applying for the funding. We really appreciate it. Sometimes we have this money, and sometimes we don't get enough interesting projects. So at the Community Foundation, we love Fund for the Arts. We have a renewed office campaign, and we believe that investing in the arts makes economic sense. I just want to tell you one quick story. I was in Toronto a few weeks ago on a business trip. And you think business, they're not going to talk about the arts. But in Toronto, this is a city we should aspire to be, They say the arts, it's not a add-on, it's the economic engine that drives the community. In fact, they believe that people move to that city, do business in that city, because from young people to patrons of the arts make economic sense. It makes for a great quality of life, so I urge you to keep it up. I don't want to live in Louisville unless you're making music in Louisville. Thank you very much.